I have wonderful memories of its opening.
When we first were talking to Sean Turner about coming here, we were really excited. I mean, to be representing the North during the procession in.
It was a safe space for 80,000 people, and it still is today.
We cried and we laughed, and the time is now.
Next year, in 2025, will be 30 years we've been making music.
And my childhood dream became reality with Pamyua. It has taken us to places we have never, ever imagined, to other parts of the world, and in being able to come here.
Ossie, myself, Qacung, I don't think we could have done it if we were not family, and to have that love. It's a special thing to do this with your family members, and Ossie's our cousin, and to go on a journey with my brother. Sometimes it's difficult, sometimes it's, amazing, but even through those difficult parts, we make it through it because we have each other. We really bounce off of each other, and we need each other to make this work.
As a wind blows cold, swift and clean like a knife, a chill through my clothes, and deep into my soul. It's always of our people, the people of North, strive together so strong, to give and put forth, singing as you
For us just to, be seen was such a big deal. It's nice that now, our communities are very used to showing who they are and being proud of who they are, and that's so gratifying.
So normal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we definitely rely on each other. Ossie, with his depth of knowledge, Qacung, the community where he came from, is one of those communities that kept the tradition of dancing alive.
I found my place in the world where I come from. And to admit the world that we live in, because of the colonized history like everywhere, I feel the responsibility to try to keep parts of that culture perpetuating, which is dance. And people are hungry for that.
Put your hair is hard work.
I wrote a play based on the boy who was sent to live with the seals. And the very first person that I went to show it to was Marie Mead, who was my cousin, who worked with our elders. When I was done singing to her, she said this, which was telling. Every Yup'ik elder from that generation, they knew that story in one form or another. And I went like, holy crap, this is bigger than me, bigger than Pamyua, bigger than my family, bigger than my community. This is the best compliment I could give back to my Yup'ik people. I decided to freely share it with our youth because we need to start bending those taps by sharing those stories. And it's like a must that every Yup'ik generation, successive generation must know. And so I'm working on a collection of songs so that those communities that were never afforded the opportunity for whatever, both the church and state history, if they want to, like, here, run with this and grow from it.
The music, the tradition, the things that we're taught, that's the ambassador. We're just the conduit.
We're just a messenger.
We're the conduit of that.
We are able to continue to tell our stories from our perspective of how we see the world, and also to introduce a little-known culture that is very much alive and still thriving in its own aspect in some ways.
So many of the old ways and the things that we've heard from our mentors is that the songs, they represent our environment, our existence, our awareness, and we're all connected to those things. And so we have the opportunity, just like they do, to be able to connect and share and build on that. And we can do that in different ways. And so we can do that in contemporary ways, or we can do that in traditional ways by utilizing the language and the modeling that we have been doing within the tradition, and to continue those.
We have adapted our music style and plugged in instruments of Western or outside influence, like guitar, percussion, bass, piano, all that stuff that are basically Western discipline. There are some negative Nancy's or negative whatever they are, and they want to be strictly traditional. So make some adaptations, give and go. So we settle on something that's comfortable for both of us, and we go with it. I taught myself how to compose songs. After singing other people's work for about 10 years, I swam in them, figuratively speaking, and analyzed them, wrote them down, learned the song by heart, intonations, and even the emotions too as well, because they tell a story. Some of the songs that I actually composed, I feel like they were composed hundreds of years ago, or where I can compose songs that are more recent within the reflection of the world we live in. For example, I composed the song Bubblegum. Dammo lo yage lo, chewing while I'm dancing. I caught my student chewing gum. So if you Google Bubblegum Alaska, that's the story.
We don't have to be wearing our furs and our gusbucks and our mucklucks and all that, because a lot of people, that's what they were expecting.
We're not just like some kind of museum thing, and we don't have to fit some kind of stereotype.
We might not fit your idea of what it is to be Indigenous, but we are coming in our true selves, and we've always done that from the get-go. The village where we grew up, where my mom grew up, the Russian or the Orthodox, the two churches that were there were very suppressive.
That was the stumbling block. What happened with the trauma from the transition from the old ways to today is that when that trauma comes, then it stops creating, stops sharing, stops all that. Just as long as we just don't stop. Just speak up, stand up, express, whatever way you can.
As an artist, I never like to tell people what to do or any of that kind of stuff. But I do encourage young people, when they're thinking about getting into something like this, right? And having your culture and traditions as a foundation of your art and your practice, know that foundation and the history and the ancestors and all of that allows you to be able to do this. Honor that first.
Our elders, they saw what we were doing as something good, and so they encouraged us to do it regardless of what it was, the specifics, because the intention was there.
I think it's important to stay connected, however one sees fit.
We were trying to get that hook for the young people to just want to learn their language, to hold on to those things, to want to dance.
Coming here to the Smithsonian is one of those things where where it matters. It's something that it fits within the narrative of what is important for us as a cultural group. It's a welcoming space for multi-generational Indigenous people, and so to have our kids here, it's so natural, and everybody appreciates the family component about the communities that we all represent. Why it works with us, having our mom be the one who encouraged us and teach us, and now we're continuing, and our children are as well, and that's how it is in our custom.
Yeah.
In that sense, it's like so rewarding to be able to see how it actually works.
Yeah, it does.
Karina, for sure, was an integral part of our group, and she had to move away to be closer to her family in Denmark and Greenland, and that's understandable.
Just to see Qacung come on stage as a little girl, just impromptu, and to dance.
She still dances like that.
She does like that, yeah. I just think that is a magical moment. It just shows the love that we have for what we do and our traditions, and how lucky we are to be able to carry on and to be able to explore and express ourselves, representing our identity through our family with these songs that represent, our region and other families.
This is our daughter. She's 7 years old.
As Qacung was on the stage with us 20 years ago, now my son Cauyaq is on the stage with us. When Sean asked us to come, I knew in that moment that Cauyaq was going to be here. I was super excited for what he was about to experience.
Like Qacung said, it was so important for us to show the community and also, the younger generation that it's okay to be who you are.
I tell people that their stories are relevant to this day. It's important to know who you are, where you come from, and celebrate it. But it's also important to celebrate you.
But it's so cool because the younger generation, they're so hungry for it and so proud that they wear their traditional outfit, and they don't need to kind of cross over.
Yeah, they don't hang it on the door as they walk out. I mean, it's on them all the time.
I'm now working with that young guy, Peter Griggs, and then there's other younger ones below my wing, so I'm just kind of nurturing their growth. They will be the ones next, so that they could carry that tradition about the leadership and whatnot, and certain things that they must abide by.
That was one of the reasons why we started the group. We call it breaking trail, especially in the snow. The first team to go through, or the first group to go through, is trudging through and breaking down that snow so that the next group has an easier way through the path.
We listen to the stories, we cried and we laughed, yeah. Lessons from our history, but not of how we go back, no, 'cause we strive to move forward, a vision of what we can be. Full is our circle, complete as you and me, and we'll fill it with love, and we'll fill it with joy, we'll fill it with pride, a vision of what we can be, a first and last name, yeah. My first and last name said I love you, my first and last name, I love you, yeah. I love you, yeah. I love you. My first and last is I love you. Said I love you. My first and last is I love you. My first and last.